Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Gridline Coaching Classes.
Today, we're diving into the incredible story of an empire that literally rose from the ashes of chaos, went toe-to-toe with the mighty Mughals, and became the last major Indian power standing in the way of the British. This is the story of the Marathas. So let's start with something kind of chilling. This quote is from way back in 1715 from a Maratha minister. He saw with incredible clarity that European traders were not just there for business. No, they had much bigger plans of conquest. And that warning, well, it came from right inside the empire that was about to face that very threat. Because before the British could even think about dominating India, they had to face a truly formidable power, the Maratha Empire. So the big question is, how on earth did this empire become so powerful in the first place? Let's get into it. To really understand the rise of the Marathas, we've got to rewind a bit, back to the 17th century Deccan Plateau. It was a place that was just ripe for a revolution. You see, the Deccan back then was an absolute tinderbox. You had all these warring sultanates, and Maratha chiefs were basically fighting as mercenaries, often for rival factions. This constant fighting created a total power vacuum and, you can imagine, a real hunger for some kind of unifying force. But here's where things get really interesting. While all that political chaos was happening, something else was going on beneath the surface. A powerful spiritual movement was actually bringing people together. It was called the Bhakti movement, led by saints like Tukaram and Ram Das. They created this amazing sense of shared identity through songs and poetry in the local language Marathi. And this newfound sense of unity, it set the perfect stage for a visionary leader, someone who could take all that cultural energy and turn it into a political revolution. And that leader was Shivaji Maharaj. I mean, get this. At just 16 years old, he started his first military campaigns, all driven by a vision that was about to completely change Indian history. See, his goal wasn't just about winning battles or grabbing land. It was about this big idea he called Swarajya, a sovereign kingdom, the idea of self-rule, totally independent and free from all the foreign powers. But, a vision is one thing. Putting it into action, that's a whole other story. And Shivaji's actions, wow, they were the stuff of legend. Shivaji was an absolute master of guerrilla warfare. He used the rugged terrain of the Deccan to completely outsmart his enemies. But of course, when you get that good, you attract some serious attention. The powerful Bijapur Sultanate sent their top general, Afzal Khan, with one mission: crush Shivaji. And this is where we see his incredible cunning on full display. Shivaji basically lures the overconfident Afzal Khan into a trap. And with a concealed weapon called a wagnak, or a tiger's claw, he lands a fatal blow. This single act completely turned the tables and cemented his reputation as a strategic genius. So who was his next target? Oh, just the mighty Mughal Empire. In an incredibly daring night raid, Shivaji led a tiny group of soldiers straight into the heart of the enemy camp. The attack was so precise, so audacious, it sent absolute shockwaves through the Mughal court. And then he sacked the super wealthy Mughal port of NCERT. This was such a bold move that it was actually reported in English newspapers like the London Gazette. Talk about humiliating the powerful Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. But maybe his most legendary feat was still to come. After being tricked and imprisoned in the Mughal capital of Agra, he came up with this brilliant escape plan. He started sending out these huge baskets of sweets, and eventually the guards just stopped checking them. So what did he do? He hid inside one and walked right out, humiliating the emperor and becoming a folk hero overnight. So with all these incredible victories under his belt, Shivaji was finally able to turn that vision of Swarajya into a real, functioning empire. In 1674, it all became official. He was crowned Chhatrapati, or sovereign king, at Raigad Fort. And this wasn't just a party. It was the birth of a new kingdom, one built on a modern and really efficient system of administration. He didn't just build an army, he built a state. He set up this brilliant council of 8 ministers. And the real game changer? It was all based on merit. He got rid of the old hereditary posts and paid his officials directly from the treasury to make sure they were loyal to the state, not to some local lord. And even after Shivaji's death, the empire he created just kept on growing. Under the leadership of the Peshwas, who were the prime ministers, It expanded right across the subcontinent, becoming the undisputed dominant power in all of India. But as the Marathas were reaching their peak, a new power was rising on the horizon, one that would challenge them for the ultimate prize, the British East India Company. And this, of course, set the stage for a colossal clash of empires. The Marathas and the British would fight 3 absolutely brutal wars to decide the fate of India. And you know what's incredible? It's a real testament to Maratha's strength that they actually defeated the British in the First Anglo-Maratha War. That's a piece of history that doesn't always get the spotlight it really deserves. So what happened? How did it all come to an end? Well, it was really a combination of things. Internal rivalries and disunity among the Maratha chiefs started to weaken them from within, just as they were facing a British force that was better organized and had more advanced technology. And this is a really crucial point to remember. The British didn't conquer a fading, weakened Mughal empire. They defeated the mighty Maratha Empire to gain control of India. The Marathas were the final boss, so to speak. Which leaves us with this huge, tantalizing question that kind of haunts the pages of history. What if? What if the Marathas had managed to stay united? Could they have held off the British and changed the destiny of the entire subcontinent? It's definitely something to think about.